Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bari Chat with Dr. Sad. This is our first episode in our nutrition and diet series. I'm excited to have my own brother join us as the guest. Today, he is a trained chef and he's going to be teaching us how to use cottage cheese to create some of your favorite foods. However, maintaining that high protein post bariatric surgery diet. Sam, go ahead and take it off.
Thank you, Alvin. Hi, my name's Chef Sehat. I was a chef up in New York. I studied there. I went to the Institute of Culinary Education, also known as ICE, and got my skills and everything from up there. I started this journey many years ago, and I was inspired by my brother's surgery for bariatrics, and I got my own. And as a chef, I had to, when you, obviously, he's may probably mentioned before, but when you get bariatric surgery, they let you know that eating food is not going to be the same. Essentially, you have to reteach yourself how to eat food, which turned out great for me, and but also a challenge. And throughout today, I'll be cooking a couple of things with cottage cheese to have your high protein, but without needing to break a lot of, like just because you have bariatric surgery, you can't eat certain things. And I'll teach you along the way of what you can or might have to struggle with. So today, what we're going to do is a rendition of a French scrambled eggs, but we're going to do it with cottage cheese included and just a little twist that I put to it. So we're going to first start off with 3 eggs. Just get your eggs out, and you can do 3, or you can, if it depends on where you are in your stage of bariatric surgery. Obviously, this is for when you get much farther into it, but you can start with, you don't have to start with 3, you can start with 2. 1, you have to range that's for yourself and where you are. But for today, we're going to start with 3. So just take your eggs and crack them in.
So, Sam,
So
while you're cooking, can you along the way also tell us, how much weight you've lost and what are the benefits that you've seen with bariatric surgery?
how much weight I've lost? I've lost over 120 pounds over the course of 2 years and counting. But when I started this journey back in essentially 1st of June 2023, I was 323 pounds. So this has been a great change for me. I know it can be scary. It's surgery. It's frightening. Obviously, you need a very good doctor, and thankfully, I had a very good doctor, Dr. Urcision. So fantastic surgeon, fantastic person. And he truly knows, how to do it and made you comfortable. And honestly, it was a great post-op, and I mean, obviously, it was a struggle, but to relearn and you tell yourself, "Oh my gosh, I can't have this and this anymore." I mean, he told me, we can't have breads, pastas, those stuff, and that is true, but I taught myself how to truly find the right ways of the right grains, the right yeast, and what to look out for when it comes to cooking. So I did a very deep dive on how to work around that and how to help you out or the viewers so they can still continue to eat the things they love. But all it takes is the right education, and that's what I'm here for, to teach you guys and to not limit yourself of what you can handle. So I love it. Probably one of the best decisions of my life. I was very hesitant and nervous at first, but I saw the results my brother had, and I struggled with all my life. And honestly, I wish I had done it sooner in my life. But truly, if you're struggling with weight and think there's no hope or anything, and you've tried everything, every diet, even the right way, and sometimes you're left stumped, just do it. Just consider it. I know it's scary, it's surgery, nobody wants to do it, but the key component with that, finding the right doctors and finding the right people to work with to make sure to get you the right results. And it comes down to you at the end. It's not just them. It's about how you have people to take care of you and taking care of yourself along the journey. And it truly is a commitment. It's not just it's a one and done. There's more to it than just, I got the surgery, no more. Don't let the things in your mind say, oh, it's a cop out or anything. It's not. It's a catalyst into weight loss journey. And truly, I love doing it. And I don't regret it for a second. So we're going to use cottage cheese. And when it comes to my cooking, I'm not really a huge ratio person about, how many tablespoons, teaspoons, or cups go into this. I kind of eyeball everything. But after all this, we will have a breakdown of how much or how little, or truly if you just want to just go about it just by look. When it comes to the cottage cheese, use high quality ingredients. If you're going to do a surgery, I mean, regardless of anything, use high quality ingredients, use simple ingredients, use things you know that are good. Something might be cheaper, but don't do that. Just because it's cheaper does not mean it's going to be better. With this, I'm using high fat cottage cheese. You can use low fat cottage cheese. I just like high fat, gives it more creamy texture. And for the 3 eggs, I use just 2 spoonfuls. How big or small is up to you. And if you want to put in terms of tablespoons, maybe it's, I guess, 2 tablespoons. But you don't have to go. You can go by how much you want or don't want. So 2, maybe even a little bit more. So now that we did that, we're going to mix it all together. As we're mixing, we are going to heat up our pan. Now, as also going into this, I'm all about non-toxic cooking, non-toxic, oils and all that. But there will be no seed oils. There will just be butter, olive oil, clarified butter, or even, later on, just normal animal fats, no seed oils. So with stainless steel, people get scared, and truly you don't need to. There's just a little knowledge that goes a long way. It will become nonstick. And for this, we want to have it at a very low heat. And I'll show you when to add to the pan, the eggs to the pan. But for right now, as we scramble this, I'm going to turn it on. And we want this at a very low heat, not simmering low, but just low enough. Nothing crazy, just to get it hot enough. And then when we get to the point of adding it, I'll show you when. So we're going to break up our eggs and we'll start mixing. And you probably want it, I mean, you can mix however much you like the consistency, but I like for it to be where it almost looks super silky smooth. And when I get to that consistency, I will get closer so you guys can see.
While you're doing that, can you tell the viewers what were the challenges you had to face post-bariatric surgery, but also doing culinary school? That must have been tough.
Honestly, the biggest challenge was the portion control and relearning how to eat. And when I came to culinary school, it wasn't as hard as the beginning because it was a while after, but it helped with, I don't need to eat this whole entire plate, or I don't, I just, tasting it is all I need. As a chef, you taste and go, taste and go. And those little taste and goes helped for me where I was like, okay, I taste it a little bit here and there. And by the time to come eat it, maybe I'll have a spoon or two of when the product is done. And that's good enough. Times, the harder part is, when you go out with people or something or at a restaurant and you can't eat as much and maybe it might look weird. It might look challenging, or people might be like, well, did you not like the food? And honestly, that's not something to let it take control of you or affect or be the slightest of concern. If you want to tell people the reason why, go ahead. If you don't, it's your life. You don't have to. But that might be the biggest struggle of doing it is just the relearning how much you can eat. And that's okay. But don't push yourself up. I need to eat more because I mean you're gonna come to regret it. You'll vomit. Or it'll make you really sick and you won't feel good. So don't do that. Those are the biggest struggles that were truly with it. In culinary school, I mean, the biggest problem was if I had to try all these things out. I didn't need to eat everything, or I didn't have to try multiple times. I just enjoyed it. So now that we got to the right consistency, you can see it's pretty silky. So now that it's silky, we can add in French, scrambled eggs. Obviously, we're just doing a take on it. They add white pepper and salt. I don't like white pepper with the scrambled eggs. I like cayenne and salt. So we're gonna just take some cayenne, and this is just how much you like. So we're gonna mix in the cayenne, and we're gonna take some salt, like a pinch. And also remember, don't put too much because cottage cheese itself has salt. So you just wanna just a pinch of it. So we're just gonna mix, mix, mix. So now that it's, seasoned and everything ready to go, we're gonna see if the pan is ready. So with stainless steel, important thing is the heat. So when it's the right temperature, the water will glide. Now, maybe you couldn't see it, but when I do it, the water isn't gliding. It just steams right off, which means it's not ready yet. It's not hot enough yet.
While we're waiting for the pan to heat up, I had another question for you. Did you experience any changes with your relationship with food? And also, like, did you start craving things you didn't before, or vice versa? Like, how was that process for you afterwards?
It changed a lot when it came to food. I didn't want to eat lower quality foods anymore, but not to say I wanted to eat higher quality foods. I just wanted to eat whole, simple, natural foods because all of that is key into this. If you have those whole natural things, organic, non GMOs, going into all that, you want all that. You want simplicity. So let's see if the pan is ready now. Pan's ready. You hear the water kind of glides. So that means it's good to go. I can, because the pan is at the right temperature, I can now kind of lower the temps back what I had before, and now we'll add our butter. For this, I mean, you don't have to use butter. I'm just doing the French technique here. So we're gonna take two knobs and just let it melt around, bubble up a little bit until it's all melted. As that's happening, I'm gonna come back and just mix my eggs.
Does the cook change at all using the cottage cheese, or is the cook time about the same?
Cook time is probably maybe you can go even a bit longer than normal if you don't use if you just use normal eggs without it, your cook time is actually I would say probably less because there's the cottage cheese, adds a fat layer and it's got water that the normal egg, doesn't have. So it does, but it's not super significant.
But what
Whole point with
what
French
makes it
style is
French style?
I mean, it's very creamy and they constantly move the pan and you keep breaking up the little bits that start to harden. So this allows it to get creamier and the enzymes to break down faster and the proteins. So it gives it creamier texture.
But whether you do French style or just regular scrambled eggs, the cottage cheese works just fine mixed together
It
with it.
works very well. And I do very much like it, cottage cheese. And people who don't like cottage cheese, honestly, give it a try. So we're pretty much done. And you can let it just play off on the side, let it cool. Because as it's cooling, it's still cooking. So, I didn't want to keep it on because then it would not be super creamy anymore. So now we're just gonna serve it, and then we'll just put a little chives on for a little color and add a little bit of add extra flavor. And there you are, your cottage cheese French style scrambled eggs.
So while you were cooking, I went ahead and used the Baritastic app, which is like the MyFitnessPal for bariatric patients because it takes into account what kind of surgeries that you had. And based on the recipe that you just made, it looks like that meal is only 396 calories with 34 grams of protein. So that's pretty good. And that's just
No.
3 large eggs, cottage cheese, and 1 tablespoon of butter.
So the next thing I'm gonna make, so we're gonna make a fun rendition of queso, but we're gonna do it with cottage cheese. So this is like my take on it, kind of, and hopefully it comes out delicious as well. So what we're gonna just have this here. We're gonna blend cottage cheese, a little cream. If you don't want to use cream, you can use milk. You can use whole 1%, 2%. If you want almond milk, go for it. We're gonna go back and get our cottage cheese. This truly depends on how much cottage cheese you want to add. For what we're about to add, this is probably maybe a cup. Now we will add some cream, just like a little bit of cream, maybe a quarter cup, if even that. And right here, we have shredded cheddar and white cheddar. And honestly, cheddar is my favorite. You can use any cheeses you like. We're also going to add some jalapenos to get a little extra kick. And we're also going to add some of this spice that I made. You can use any types of spice, honestly. For me, I mean, you can use like a taco seasoning if you want, but for me, I just made my own little spice. This is just garlic powder, paprika, and green chili powder. So just gonna add that. We'll add a little bit of salt and pepper to taste.
While you're making this one, my next question is what's something that bariatric surgery gave you back? Like something that you didn't think you were going to ever be able to do again, or something new that you were able to do because of bariatric surgery?
Honestly, it helped a lot with my self-image. I mean, obviously it's a process, but it's something I also didn't think I would ever be able to control myself with food. I was always hungry. I always wanted it. Um that was my biggest struggle with food. I felt, as much I would like, I would eat until I was busting, until I was super full. And that's not good. It's just it helped teach me about control and portioning. And it's hard when you're obese and or overweight and or you just love food. And I love food. So we're gonna blend all this up and we'll see hopefully it's the right smooth and texture we want. So it's gonna be loud for a second. So I need to add more cream.
But if people didn't want to use cream, they could use almond milk, but they
They
could
can use
use
almond
regular
milk,
milk.
normal milk, anything you like.
This is just like a way that you can have
Or yeah,
nacho cheese like dip watching
yeah,
the
like
game, but
yeah,
not feel bad about it.
exactly. And honestly, it's also this doesn't have to be something for bariatrics too. It's gonna be taken to like tailgate party, office party, anything you want, and it's a healthier way of doing. It. So let's see if this is the right consistency, and it is. That looks pretty good. Now, you could just eat this like this, cold, but I don't like cold queso, so we're gonna warm it up.
And I went ahead in the meantime, added all the ingredients together for what she made. And it looks like your recipe comes out to about 400 calories, 68 grams of protein.
Pretty good. So, as that's heating up, even as this is heating up, I will try it as is. I actually need to. I would use these chips if you want great tortilla chips. Masa's a great brand. Let's give it a very good.
You'd serve that at your tailgate party?
I would.
All right, I'm gonna have to try that. I haven't tried the high protein nacho cheese yet.
When I see you, I'm making.
And then what other recipes do you have for us today?
After this, I'm going to make you a American creamy fettuccine alfredo with cottage cheese
All right.
with some chicken to go with it.
My next question for you is what was the deciding factor for you? Like, what was the breaking point where you said, okay, I need to get bariatric surgery? I've exhausted all my options.
Once I've exhausted all my options was the biggest. When you've done it all and been there and feel like there's no help, there's nothing, and then you just feel like no matter how much calorie deficit you do, you're like it's so hard to control, and that control, you just kind of feel hopeless, and you truly feel like it's either this or nothing else works.
What were your like hesitations about bariatric surgery, or did you really know much about bariatric surgery
I
beforehand?
mean, I only knew what you told me and taught me, but my biggest hesitation is it's surgery. Or, sometimes, or also one of my hesitations is like, no, I can do it. I can do it. But then sometimes, when you have the constant weight fluctuation, when you like kill yourself for 6 months and you've lost only 20 pounds, maybe 30 pounds, and maybe there are people out there that are better than me that they don't have that problem that, they kicked it into high gear. They didn't struggle with it. But I struggle with it. I struggle. I've been there where I kicked it into high gear too once in my life. But when you have a lot going on and dealing with a lot in your life, a lot of struggles that people don't see or see and maybe not understand, and those things play a factor. That plays a big role, and you feel hopeless. You feel like you're not good enough. Or something's wrong with you. So I truly was at a point in my life where I didn't want to be like that anymore. I didn't want to feel like that anymore, and I prayed that this could be the thing because I've truly exhausted all my options. I've done every diet fad there was. It was calorie deficit, but I still struggle. All those are struggles of there's mental struggles, and there's what else is there to do?
Yeah. Well,
So when you've done all that,
I like what you said about it being a catalyst to get you to where you need to be, but it's not like a magic bullet either.
no, it's not a magic bullet. It is truly, I see it as a catalyst. It is not, even as it's just a catalyst. It's not a magic bullet. You need those things I said. You need proper nutrition. Even if you do it and you still eat really bad, then don't do it. Don't do it. Americanized style fettuccine alfredo. So we're going to need the blender again. So we will add some cottage cheese again to our blender.
You say a cup?
Yeah, a cup. If you want to add more, add more. If you want to add this whole thing, go for it. We just don't have that big of a blender. Something you could do to even increase the protein in this is you can obviously add milk, but or cream. But if you even want to add an extra oomph to it, which I don't have, is you can add chicken stock or beef stock, and that will make it even better and add more protein to what you need. We're gonna add a little milk.
How much milk would you say?
It's hard to say. It just depends on how much cottage cheese you put. For how much this I put, maybe this is a quarter cup. I won't know truly. And I mean, like the last one, I only put a quarter cup, and then I had to add more because I didn't have the complete ratio or consistency that I needed. So we have our chicken breasts here. So before I blend all that and go into it, I'm gonna marinate or season the chicken.
What kind of milk do you like to use?
I like whole milk. You can do it however you like. Whatever floats your boat and it works for you, that's all that matters. That's the fun part about cooking. You can do it however you like, however you want, whatever makes you happy.
What kind of chicken are you using? You using chicken breast, chicken thighs?
I like chicken breast. I actually like chicken breast, I think, more than chicken thighs. So we are gonna season this with some salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Season as you will, as generously or ungenerously as you want.
How'd you overcome the challenge of eating out with your culinary school classmates after bariatric surgery?
I mean, I just ate a little bit. You don't have to. I mean, one thing that you will come to realize if you do the surgery is you cannot eat and drink at the same time. And I don't mean alcohol. I mean, yes, but you cannot like have water with your meal. It becomes really challenging. So you have to mind that. You very much want to be mindful of your water intake and make sure you have a higher water increase. I wouldn't really have drink a lot. If you do, I mean, you will get drunker quicker. You'll notice that. But I would not try to get drunk, like super drunk, because it will not end well.
Also,
I don't
those
think
are
that,
alcohol is empty calories anyway.
and that it is. Okay, we season one side, now let's season the other. Patting it in, making sure it's all sticking. Someone might be wondering, why didn't you oil the chicken before you did all the spices? You don't need to.
Did you have any health problems before surgery that you noticed went away after surgery?
I'm pretty sure I was pre-diabetic, even though my sugar level, what's it called?
Hey,
A1C was very low. I used to get skin tags around my neck area. That went away. Obviously, you don't breathe as heavy anymore. You're not dying going places. I also had sleep apnea, essentially. I was so overweight and obese, I had sleep apnea. So that completely went away. I am not thankfully diabetic. I mean, I never was, but thankfully not even pre-diabetic if I was close to it. I also had very high blood pressure. That has gone away, and now I just have normal blood pressure, thankfully. So those truly helped. I would have to take pills for all that. So now I don't have to do anything. Now I can live, and that's what we're here for, is just to live, not exist. So as this is heating up, we'll also boil our water. So we'll first make our chicken, and then we can actually make the sauce in the same pan, so we can minimize washing dishes as much as possible with multiple things. So let's also bring this up to boil. So while this is heating, this is coming to a boil, let me blend the sauce.
so what are you blending up?
Cottage cheese, milk, and some heavy cream together.
Because the cottage cheese, you're using high fat cottage cheese, you don't have to use as much heavy cream as you would like in another version of the American style
No.
Alfredo.
With the heavy cream with this, we're just adding a splash. And then we're adding milk, and I'm adding some Parmesan to it, some Parmesan Reggiano. It's the only Parmesan you should use and nothing else. It's real Parmesan Reggiano, just to blend it up. And then we'll add more when it starts cooking. Almost like the queso. We're just kind of blending it, almost everything of our American-ish Alfredo sauce. Let's see if this is good to go. Perfect. Go. Now we will add both the chickens.
Sear them in the pan, or do you have to put them in the oven as well?
You can do either one. For today's purposes, we're just searing in the pan. These aren't really that too big for me to put them in the oven, but if you have a very big chicken breast, you can sear it just for that color to get the Maillard reaction, nice golden brown consistency, or even darker, however you like the crispiness. And then just put it in the oven in 350 for 6 to 8 minutes, and then bring it out and let it rest. But because these are so tiny, we don't need to do any of that.
And what kind of pasta are you going to be using?
So we are going to use this dried pasta, which is one of my favorite brands. And it comes to pastas, you don't want anything yellow. Anything yellow, throw in the trash. That means it was instantly dried, and all the starches and gluten, all that it's dried really quick, which makes it really yellow, which doesn't have time for all the fibers and gluten and everything to relax and dry naturally over time. And that's why these are whiter, because then that's what you want. You want it whiter. It won't mess up your stomach. You won't have digestive issues. I guarantee if you put this against something that's very yellow, when you eat it, that one gives you stomach problems and also increases weight gain because there's no nutritional value in that. It sucks it all out, instantly drying. This does not do that. This is the key. When it comes to grains, flours, the slower, the better. If you want to get dried pastas, you want to look for completely as white as possible pastas. That is the key. You won't have stomach problems.
Is there something on the packaging that can help you figure that out, or are you just going by the
I mean, you
color?
can not all packaging, some packaging will tell you how many hours it took them to dry. The longer it takes for them to dry, the better it is. That's the whole, like, that's one of the biggest reasons people in Italy or other places in Europe don't really gain a lot of weight if they're not overeating or, they can enjoy pastas or pizzas because it's just naturally drying out. Everything is taking its time. Nothing is instant. And this is that. This is the key. And this is just organic durum wheat semolina. That's all this is, but it's white. If you can see, it's extremely white. It's not yellow. You don't want yellow, and it looks maybe a little yellow because we have some warm lights in here. But it's this brand is what you want. I mean, look out for this or anything like something. This is at Whole Foods. Spend more money on the more expensive pasta, but I promise you, it's worth it. And this will not. This has much more nutritional value than the yellow stuff. So since this comes to a boil, and we're not clearly there yet. Do sticky on this.
How long do you sear the chicken for?
It depends on
And
your chickens.
what are
I
you
mean,
looking
just
for?
truly depends on the sizes. I mean, you're trying to. The key with chicken breasts is you don't want to overcook it. So I guess when I cook for so long, I can just tell. Cook it until you feel like it's firm, because you don't want to dry out. The biggest thing what people get wrong with chicken breast, they dry it out. They overcook the heck out of it. You don't want that. Once it's like firmed up a bit, like this one is much firmer right now than this one. So what I can do, and if you want color on everywhere, you can just take it and kind of just hold it in place. But remember, when you take it off, do not slice your meat. Let it rest because it still is cooking. There's heat into this that will cook a lot more. So this is pretty much done, and we're gonna take it to the side and let it rest. We're gonna cook this a little bit more, and all this at the bottom of your pan. This is called fond. This is good. This is flavor. Now this is a bit darker, obviously, than normal, but I'm okay with. I like a little burnt stuff in my food. So now we have this, our good bits. This is what we're gonna make our sauce in. We're gonna reduce the heat. Then we're gonna come and add some butter to that.
Does that help deglaze the pan?
It does. Adding butter and stock, or some wines can help deglaze the pan. But if you don't want to, you don't need to add anything. You could just use water to help deglaze the pan. But because there's flavor in here and we don't want to get rid of it, we can mix both the sauce and the pasta. Always have your sauce ready when it comes to doing pastas. So we melted our butter. I'm just going to kind of scrape off this a little bit to get off the fond of these scragglets, and then we're going to come in with some garlic. So this is about 3 cloves of garlic I minced. And once again, this recipe, you don't have to follow it to any T. You can do whatever. If you like garlic, go for it. Put 3 garlic cloves. If you like a lot of garlic, you can put more. If you don't like garlic, you don't have to put any garlic. That's the beauty of cooking. You can make it however you want.
And remind us again what's blended in the sauce.
You got cottage cheese, whole milk, and just a splash of heavy cream. So now we're gonna add our sauce and Parmesan cheese. So you can see this is pretty thick.
And how do you know when the sauce is ready?
Technically your sauce is ready right now, but you kind of just want to cook out a little bit, make it a little bit thicker. And honestly, to even make it thicker, if it's too loose, you can add pasta water because the starch is in the water with the pasta will help thicken up your sauce. That's why normal Alfredo is just cheese, butter, and pasta water because the pasta water has its own starch, and that starch will help thicken it up. And we want this just to come to a light simmer. And once it does, that's when I'll add a bit more spices in there. I'll add my salt, pepper. I'm going to add some herbs, and just for a little flavor, we're going to add some crushed red pepper for a little heat. So I'm going to taste it now before I add salt and pepper because there's already fun at the bottom and there's flavors. So I need to make sure I don't add extra salt if I don't need to. Maybe like a dash of salt. And if I want to, I'll add some pasta water later to even make it thicker. Now, for a recipe like this, there might be recipes online that say add cornstarch or flour to thicken your sauce. Truly, you don't need that. You could just add pasta water. It's just the starch. This is thickening up nicely. Taste it again. Pretty good. We just need to add our herbs. And right here, I have fresh oregano and fresh thyme. So I'm going to add that. So you can't see it right well, but those little bits that were stuck to the end of the pan are not there.
And what are those little bits called again?
It's called fond.
Fond.
It's what makes the Maillard reaction on the chicken to give it that crust, give that a nice kind of charish flavor. Okay, now we'll give it one last taste, and then we will do our pasta. Good. We just salt our pasta water.
And then how long do you cook it for al dente?
Most pastas will tell you. For this, it says between 8 to 10 minutes. So we're going to go for 9. So once that boils and mixes the salt in there, we're going to add our tagliatelle. And the reason I also like that brand, they kind of bunch it up for you. So they portion it out almost. So we're going to add 3 to this. And as you can see, the pasta or the water is changing color, and that's because the starch is being released. Once it releases more, add some of our pasta water to our sauce.
How many servings does this recipe make?
2?
So this is like a good recipe for dinner for 2?
Yes. The water is like not clear, almost very cloudy.
Mm-hmm. Is that the starch?
That's the starch being released, and we can add that to this just a little bit, not a lot, to just make it a bit thicker.
And how much of that do you add? Is it like a quarter cup or like a good amount, or how much do you need?
What, the pasta water?
Yeah, the pasta water.
That is more, you just have to eyeball. I would say start very small and work your way up. Do not just go straight full in with a cup of anything. Start with a quarter cup and then, don't even pour the quarter cup. Just use a quarter cup, pour a little bit, and see how I can go from there. So this is looking almost done. I'm going to take some pasta water now, and I'm just going to add a little bit and see. See, I only add a little bit. This is a huge lid on. I only add a little bit. That is al dente. Also, always take your pasta and put it with the sauce. Also, even if you don't add the pasta water, when you do this, it's going to add itself. Combine with each other, and our sauce is a little wet, but that's it. Pasta, just take the same, add a little sauce, come and add our chicken to it, Parmesan if you want some extra cheese, and some parsley there you are. Chicken, cottage cheese Alfredo.
Oh, that's another one I'm gonna have to try when I get there.
Yes.
All right. Well, Sam, thank you so much. This was an exciting first episode for the nutrition series. I hope to keep it going. Is there any last words you want to tell the viewers before we go?
No, just if you're going to do this, do it right way and don't sweat it. It's a journey. The nutrition might be hard at first, but I promise if you learn it and do it the right way and you come to relearn everything, it will help you in the long run. So keep that in mind and don't be too hard on yourself.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll see you next time.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.